Good morning, all of you. Earlier, we had seen what are the types of oral communications, written communications, and now we are going to cover these are the types of actually verbal communications where we use words to express our emotions or our ideas or our thoughts, suggestions, whatever it is. We will going to express this through our words. Maybe it is in a written format or maybe in a oral way. You communicate all these things, but there is another way of communicating the messages or the idea or thoughts is also there, and that way is known as non-verbal communications. You can see in this screen today I have shared this screen purposefully. It's a very new experience for me also, because till that day I am using no screen and I am speaking of my own, but today I actually utilize because I have to show certain images later on in today's session. That's why I shared my screen. So the non-verbal communications is actually when we communicate our ideas, thoughts, and whatever the opinions or whatever the complaints or grievances are without using any words. It may be through any pictures or maybe any diagram or graph or anything, our postures, our gestures, our facial expressions. These also communicate a much more in a much more stronger way than the words we use to communicate our things to other person. So these are a very powerful tools of communications which transmit your information, your messages to the other party in a very strong manner. So what are these? First of all, these are facial expressions. Facial expressions means what? When whenever we are hungry, angry, or when we are happy, or when we are sad, or something frustrating happening with us, our face expresses it all. So the facial expressions actually strongly tells our emotions, what we are going through inside. So facial expression is very important part of non-verbal communications. We cannot hide, most of us cannot hide whatever is within us, and it comes through our facial expressions. So it is very easy way to communicate your emotions, or you're happy or you're sad or you're angry about something. So your face can express it very easily and can be taken by the other party very conveniently. दूसरे लोग जो है वो भी बहुत conveniently इस चीज़ को understand कर लेते हैं, समझ लेते हैं. Not need to use any words. Your facial expression, the frown or your overhead foreheads, or the different kind of clinch on your face expresses it every all that how you feel about the things. So this is the facial expressions. Now body movement and posture. Body movement and posture is actually the way you walk, sit, hold someone's hand. These are your body movement, these are your postures, and these actually communicate a wealth of information to the world. You can communicate through your body movement, through your body language to the world in a very strong manner. So these are the also sources, different sources of communication where you can use to transmit your emotions to the other party without using any words. So body communications, the way you sit, you stand, you walk, what you're thinking about yourself. It is very easy to convey your thoughts, your ideologies to the other person. After that, the thing which comes is uh, gestures. Gestures means a very gesture means the symbolic activity. You what you do is the symbolic activity. Like sometimes we say like this is what? This is a gesture of saying amazing, very good, nice. So similarly we create a lots of gestures. Sometimes we did this, this is all the best, okay, okay, so we are going to do this, so okay, okay. So sometimes we do all these symbols, we use these signs, and these are the parts of the gestures. So sometimes we show kind gesture, compassionate gesture, and sometimes very rude gesture. So it happens with us, it change with our mindset, with our moods. But then these are the gestures. Yes, there's one thing about gestures. When you use, like I'm talking about okay shine, when we say okay shine, it will be okay in the English speaking countries where the main language of the countries are English, is English, like इंग्लैंड हो, अमेरिका, यहाँ पर ये सारे एक्सेप्टेबल हैं, दे टेक इट इज़ एन एक्सेप्टेबल वे. बट देन द अदर कंट्रीज वेयर इंग्लिश इज़ नॉट द मेन लैंग्वेज, लैंग्वेज लाइक जर्मनी, रसिया, फ्रांस, यहाँ पर इसको मिस इंटरप्रेट भी किया जा सकता है एंड दे आर नॉट ट्रीटेड इज़ अ गुड लैंग्वेज. तो हमको वहाँ पे बहुत संभल करके अपने सिम्बॉल्स या अपने गेस्चर्स को यूज़ करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज सेम गेस्चर्स कैन हैव अ डिफरेंट मीनिंग एट डिफरेंट प्लेसेस. तो वी शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट द कल्चर्स. बट देन फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन, when we talked about facial expression, it is very obvious that facial expression is actually in any language or in any culture transmit the same ideas. If you are not happy, if you are sad about something or doing this, so this suggests that you are not happy or something tension is going on, or frown on your foreheads, you are tensed about something, so you are doing this. Okay, so these are the frowns on the forehead, and you're happy, you are smiling. And in any language, in any culture, whenever you go, you see happiness means a smile at your face, and it says everything about you, that how you are feeling right now. So facial expression in every culture is regarding the same way, but then when you are using some symbols, some gestures, you should be very aware about this, that what it can be understood or it can be misinterpreted by the people of that particular places. The next one is eye contact. Yes, eye contact is very essential. See, I am talking right now, seeing in my screen, so that whenever you look at this video, you can see our eye contact. I am having an eye contact with you. Okay, Dileer, you can drop a message, or you can go for the query at our inquiry counter. You will get every information regarding admissions. Thanks that you want to take admissions. Now, coming back to our classes, that we are talking about eye contact. So right now I am looking at my screen, so that whenever you go through this video, you can find an eye contact between me and you. So what happens when if I can talk, even I can talk like this, like this, like that way, but I can talk, but it's not connecting speaker with an audience. So connection is very important, and that was also important in verbal communications, where you are orally communicating, face-to-face communicating with somebody. This eye contact is very essential there also. So eye contact is essential because it maintains the flow of conversations. You can connect with your audience very easily, and your eyes speaks a lot about your emotions, about your ideas. Sometimes whatever you are using, maybe you are whatever you are speaking, maybe you are speaking lie, but then your eyes tells a lot of thing about the hidden aspects of that particular conversation which you want to hide. So looking in someone's eye actually tells us that he is telling truth or not, because if a liar, when anybody lies, you can see in our examples also, when anybody lies, he cannot maintain a proper eye contact, because honesty is there in the eyes of a person. So eye contact is essential, and it is very important while you are communicating. It gives strength to your communications or your points. Next, touch. Okay, so how touch can communicate our ideas? Yes, we communicate a great deal of information through touch. Like when your superior or your mother or your father or your some elder brother, sister, anybody give a pat on your back, that means he's appreciating you. So it's communicate, even if he had not spoken a single word, but he has given pat on your back. That means that particular touch soothes you, motivates you for more for to doing more and more good works in that particular field. So this is about touch. Even if the another example is whenever we are feeling ill or not good about anything, so when somebody gives strokes on our hairs, or just simply हमारे हेड को सहला दे, या फिर एक तरह का एश्योरेंस होता है कि वी आर विद यू. दिस टच गिव्स यू एश्योरेंस. कोई बीमार हो जाए, कैसे हम उसको कहते हैं कि a little bit of massage gives us more emotional strength and the relief. द जो पेन है वो रिलीफ तो होता ही है, हमारा इमोशनल जो हमारा टर्मोइल है वो भी कहीं ना कहीं हील होता है थ्रू दिस टच. सो टच इज़ द अनदर वे ऑफ नॉन वर्बल communications. Now the voice is what when we talk, we are talking in a way, so the intensity of our voice, the tone of our voice, the pace of our our voice, the pitch of our voice, whatever we're using, construct the overall message. So आपका voice भी है जब आप use करते हो, just like means you're not comfortable about something. That means you're in pain. So these are the voices. These are the other small. It doesn't have any meaning if we don't know the meaning of pain or compassion or the emotions. So is the side is the way of saying I'm painful, I'm in some certain level of pain. Means I don't like all these things. So means I'm listening to you. That means I'm listening to you. So these are the another types of voices which clarifies what you really wanted to say or what you really wanted to communicate. You are in pain, you are not feeling good about something which happens before you. You are saying, that was a very painful moment of my life. So this say it all. Okay. Now, pictorial communications, and the last of this particular non-verbal communication topic is pictorial communication. Suppose you are not using words, sometimes you are using words like power presentation, you are using words with graphs, pictorials, pie charts, and so many graphs you are utilizing to communicate our accurate message to the public or to the audience. So what I am going to communicate with you is I am going to communicate through the pictorial presentations, PowerPoint presentation. So PowerPoint, sometimes to make this PowerPoint presentation more effective, you use text in combination of the pictures, but sometimes you can communicate like these days. I can give you simple examples. Emojis, whenever you use emojis in the WhatsApp, which is very much in fashion right now, it's trending. So and lots of emojis is coming every now and then. It suggests that we express our emotions through that particular small emojis, small pictures. You're sad, you're happy, you are caring somebody, you're loving somebody. So these are the emojis which express your emotions toward that particular person. So these are the pictorial communications, and by these way you can go for non-verbal communications. I think I have already completed verbal and non-verbal communications. Today the main thing which I have shared, because of what I have used this screen sharing approach, is the communication network. Actually today I wanted to cover the communication network. It is of different types. So communication network, but first of all is inverted V shape. Here you go. This is the diagram of inverted V shape. Here you can see with the diagram only that suppose A, B, Z and D all are the members of an organization or of a group. Here B and D is subordinate and A and Z is superior. So A is superior and Z is the super boss. Okay, boss of A also. So B can, you can see in the diagram that B can communicate with A, B can communicate with Z as well. Similarly, D can communicate with A and D can communicate with Z as well. So here the subordinates can communicate with superior as well as their super boss or the super seniors too. So here is very open culture of communications in the organizations where B, inverted V, kind of network of communication is adopted, where it shows open culture of communication where one body can reach to the any level to express themselves or to say their opinions regarding anything. Okay, so these are the inverted V shape, and it shows it indicates an open culture in the organizations. The next one is wheel network. You can go for the diagrams. Actually the main purpose is diagram. So here the diagram in center is center A and all around B, C, D and E. We can say that B, C, D and E is working on the same level of the hierarchy while A is the superior boss. So here all the juniors can reach to the seniors, can communicate to the seniors, but then there is no communication between the horizontal or between the same group of members. See, B, C, D, E and D, E cannot communicate among themselves. So this is hampering the communication between the employees of the organization. For everything, for every minor or major details, you have to go to the center of the network, that is the boss of your communication or your immediate senior or the supervisor. There you can communicate, and there, so it is very highly structured. Or these types of communication is actually preferred in a task oriented approach, where the people are much more conscious or aware about the goals, how you have to go for the goal approach. there no employee orientation, so employee को कुछ support करने का नहीं है इसमें. You can go for your superiors and communicate the informations to subordinates, while subordinates do not communicate among themselves. So this is the wheel network. Okay, I think I have already covered this wheel network, so I have to go on the next kind of network, that was chain network. Is there any confusion in the wheel network? Anybody? It is actually adopted in highly formal structured organizations where a structure is very tight, and where the orientation is very task oriented approach. Any goal is in the center of the organizations, not the employee oriented organization. में informal talk को भी बहुत ज़्यादा support किया जाता है, because we know informal talk has its own advantages, but then wheel network discourages this kind of communications, and it promotes task oriented approach, very structured, and everybody has to focus on their part of work. Okay, now chain network. See the diagram over there. The chain network is actually very much similar to the former one, that was wheel network. Here also the people of organizations can communicate to the adjacent members. It is different from the that particular circular name wheel network. Okay, so wheel network से different है. Here the people can communicate with the adjacent neighbors, like B can communicate with A and C can communicate with B and D, but when C wanted to communicate with A, he has to go through B. Okay, so here is chances of distortion of the communications, because you cannot reach to the end point yourself. You have to reach to that particular point through via media, and these via media there are chances of distortion of the communications can get disrupted, while you cannot reach to every point of the every point where you wanted to communicate actually. So here upward and downward communications, you can see the vertical chain of command is there, and upward downward communications information is very likely to distort. But the communication system is also very time consuming, because see, if A wanted to talk with D, or A wanted to talk with E, then in that particular cases he has to reach to the E or D through the middleman of the particular chain, like B, C or D in case of E. Okay, so these are actually the very time taking processes, very time consuming, and the communications effectiveness is also not as clear as it should be. The next one is fourth, the circular network. Okay, the same circular network is very much similar to this line network or the chain network, where A can communicate with B or C can communicate with B and D. Similarly, in circular network, A can communicate with B and C. Okay, so A can communicate with B and C can communicate with A and E, but A cannot directly communicate with E. That means if A wanted to reach to E, A has to take the help of C to reach E. So it's again time consuming process, and here the only difference between the chain network and the circle network is that here the flow of information is circular. Okay, and in the previous cases, the flow of information is upward and downward, whereas in this circular network case, the flow of information is circular. All five persons cannot directly communicate with each other. The formal claims of demand is thus not respected in this network. Okay, we can come to know that these are very similar, but their upward and downward flow of communication. Here the flow of communication is circular, the only difference between the chain network and the circular network. And last but not the least is all channel or star network. Look at the diagram, it will be very clear when you go through the diagram, like A, B, C, D, E. Like circular network, wheel network, they can communicate among themselves. We have seen in wheel network that A, C, D, B all can communicate with their adjacent members, like A can communicate with B and C can communicate with A and E. But in this particular type of network, well, star network, we say star network, A can communicate with adjacent neighbors as well as E, D directly. So here the diagonal, horizontal, upward, downward, all flow of communication is possible in star kind of network. और यहाँ पे communications को बहुत support मिलता है. It follow the informal channel of communications. ये आपको quick information पहुँचाएगा because anybody can reach to the anybody very easily. So it is maintaining the circular chain of communication. It is maintaining the upward and downward movement of the communication. It is also maintaining the horizontal flow of the communication. See, B and C can communicate, D and E can communicate. See, it shows the horizontal flow of communications. So these are the different channels or different networks through which we can communicate very easily, and these are different channels of communications. I think I have already cleared through this. If there is any problem, you can ask me in the comment section or anywhere, wherever you feel it's easy for you. You can ask questions. In star channel, I want to tell you one more thing, that it every type of communication is possible. So the communication flow is very fast, and there is no problem in coordination among the group members. There may be a problem of coordination because sometimes A has communicated already to E and C also repeated the same information. So sometimes repetition of communications or the confusion of communication can occur in the star kind of communication, but the positive point of such communication is there is easy communication, there is very क्या कहते हैं, a quick flow of communications from one point to another point. So this is all about today's topic. In next topic going to cover some other chapters of the same thing, maybe informal channels or grapevine. Okay, right now I am telling you what are the grapevines. Grapevines are the actually informal forms of communications, and next session I am going to cover informal communications. Okay, so write down, we have covered what are the non-verbal communications, how we use different medium or different means of communications in non-verbal, like facial expressions, body language, gestures, postures, eye contact, pictorial representation of something. These are the languages of non-verbal communication, where we do not use any words but we communicate our thoughts, our emotions very strongly to the other recipient person. Okay, and then we have covered different kinds of channels which support our communications. So it is utilized by the organizations as well as in any group, formal or informal groups. These are the 5 different channels of 5 different network of communications. Okay, you can see on the screen the single channel and the multiple channel. Single channel means when you use the only one channel of communication, only one network of communications, while multiple channel when there is use of a combination of networks of channel, but it's using a chain network as well as circular network. Then you can say this multiple channels. You are communicating through multiple channels, not you are fixed with one particular pattern of communications. You are using different channels or different patterns of communication. Then you can say multiple channels of communications. Later on, what are the informal communications and what are the informal channels of communication, we are going to see in the next session. Till then, take care, be safe, stay home, and ask anything. If you have any problem, please feel free to ask me anywhere. Okay, thank you so much.